Whoever said baking or cooking was required to make your own ice cream cake, let me tell you, you can call or write that person and say, excuse me, you were wrong.
Yes, you sure can.
You don't have to do it.
A shortcut to this sweet frozen creation is Ann Macey, author of Ann's Table for Two. Santa Macey today.
Santa Macey.
I'm really in the spirit here. I'm looking like Mrs. Claus.
I think so.
More and more every day.
So tell me how we can make an ice cream cake, because I requested ice cream cake for my wedding. It's my favorite. How does one make it so very easily?
Well, first of all, for your wedding, how long would you have it sitting there? You know?
I didn't get it, and it's a sore spot, but this show's not about me today. It's about making a delicious ice cream cake.
Today.
Exactly.
All right, this is easy. This is actually a combination of two recipes I've done on here. My cookies and ice cream cake that I did about maybe a year and a half ago, and my candy cane cake that I did 4 years ago.
Something like that.
I remember that one.
Yes.
So good.
All right, so start with about maybe a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of milk. And this is instant pudding. Vanilla instant pudding, a tablespoon of that.
Is it vanilla
It
instant?
is vanilla instant pudding, and just kind of like you know, stir it up a little bit. And then we're going to put in, these are candy canes that have been crushed and, you know, sifted and the whole deal. And,
How did you crush them?
well, you can put them in a plastic bag and bang them with a meat mallet. But what I usually do is I usually put them in the food processor.
Good idea.
Yes. So 2 tablespoons of that. And then peppermint extract, which is really what makes it...
That makes it pungent.
This makes it pungent. So you're just going to put in about 1/4 teaspoon of this.
Now, Ann, is this in your cookbook?
This one is not, but it's on my website. It's on your website. I came up with this after the cookbook.
Okay.
Okay, so just
well,
to
then
give it
you're
a
just
little-
going to have to come up with a third cookbook.
Yeah.
Yes, really.
In your free time. Start working on it, okay?
In my free time. And then put 1.5 cups of thawed whipped topping. Okay?
Thawed.
Thawed.
I thought you said thawed, and I was going to say, I don't know what that is.
I was racking my brain to figure out what thawed meant.
Now, I'm going to tell
I didn't
you,
want to sound like an
this
idiot.
kind of looks a little bit blah, so I like to put in just a splash of red food coloring. You don't have to do this. This is optional. And actually, if you wanted to, you could
I think
put
it's
in
mandatory.
green.
I like it.
But you got to be careful not to put too much in. Okay, you just whip that around.
Give it a whip, Ashley.
Okay, well,
yes, you know, because we've taught you this.
I know. I feel very self-conscious, though, that I'm not going to be a good whipper. But
All right, and then we could set that aside because we're going to use this cutting board, and we are going to cut up now. Ashley, you get on that side. Seth, I need you on this side. I love directing traffic. Okay.
So what you've done is you've chopped up a bunch of ice cream sandwiches.
This is what I've done. There's 9 of them in here. It calls for 10. And you just chop them up into, you know, little bits as big or as small as you want. And you just throw them in. So there's 10 ice cream sandwiches in here.
And then throw them back in the freezer, too, because I imagine that this thaws pretty quickly.
Actually, when I was cutting these up, I had to cut it up and then put one in the freezer because they will thaw very, very quickly. So, and if you're going to do this with your children or your grandchildren, when my grandchildren see this, they're going to want to do it. You know? And you just, you know, like mix it all together.
I could eat that with a spoon, Nan.
I know, it's really good. Now, so you kind of, if you're going to do this with your grandchildren or your children, you just want to do this part first, and then you put it in the freezer, and then let them decorate it at the last minute. Otherwise, it'll melt.
And that part's tough to do with the kids because, it'll get messy real quick.
You're under a time constraint.
So now we load it all into
any kind of a mold. This is a 5-cup mold, Christmas tree. You can also do it.
This is adorable.
And you have to put it with make sure that you line it with some saran wrap, otherwise you won't get it out.
Like we have right here, perfect.
Yes. And Seth, if you will go in the freezer and get the one that's done.
Oh, nice, Ann. And then you just kind of fit it right in.
Just kind of fit it, squish it right in into any mold. And if you want to make it into smaller, it doesn't have to be a Christmas tree. You could I would spray this with cooking spray.
Okay.
And then, you know, put them on a cookie sheet with wax paper, or you could just use a muffin tin.
That's such a good idea.
And you just wrap all of the plastic wrap. Then take, where's my foil? Take your foil and wrap it up and put it in the freezer.
And then you pull it out of the freezer.
Yes.
And it looks fantastic.
Ice cream cake.
So this is the point.
Please.
Or cooking.
No baking, no cooking, no. Just you have to kind of like be a little quick about it. Oh,
There
you're
we
doing
are.
that lovely.
Like so.
Very lovely.
Here you go, Ann.
You're doing a fine job.
Thank
Smells
you
so
much.
minty in here.
It does smell minty in here. And then just
And
plop
now we
it-
get to decorate.
Oh, and another thing is make sure that before you put this together that you have room in your freezer to be able to fit whatever mold you have.
That's a great point.
Yes, and if you're going to keep it, because you, like I have it on this plate now you have to make sure that your freezer will hold this size plate too. Otherwise you're in trouble. So make sure that whatever mold you use.
Otherwise, you're eating cake as fast as you can. So now, how do we make it look as pretty as the one that's over there?
Well, you can decorate it with anything. You can decorate it with any kind, like candied sugar. And the other thing is too, if you want to, put some green food coloring in this and make it green,
Yeah.
you could do this. Or you can, and to decorate. Oh, I always make a mess.
That's the best part of the season, though.
is,
It's all
yes,
about
it
having
is.
some fun.
You can use. Oh, I'm being a little sloppy here.
That's totally fine with me.
Yeah.
This is what
I
my
bet it's
kitchen
gonna taste
normally
great
looks
no matter
like, though. But you can use the green or red sugars, or you can decorate it with any kind of anything you want. Then you got to put it this. So now, this is what I would do if I was doing this with my grandchildren. I would put it in the freezer after I've made it pretty like this.
Yeah.
And then just put it in the freezer, and then I would take it out at the last minute, because it should really rest for maybe about 5 minutes anyway. So have all of the decorations all ready for the kids, and then let them put the decorations on at the last
then
minute.
have them go to town. And this is the finished product.
That's
but like
the
you
finished,
said,
it's
you
not
can
as
make it
messy as
any way
this.
you want with sprinkled sugar or any other kind of decoration.
And,
That's
and
right.
this recipe, not in your book, but you have
It's on
hundreds
my
of
website.
recipes that are. And
That's
stable
right.
for two.
That's
it's all
right.
about cooking for two, but you can double it, triple it, quadruple it, whatever you want.
And you can get my cookbook at DeRocher Florist,
Mm-hmm.
and of course at Geisler's at the service desk, and on at Renew.com and on Amazon.com.
So many spots. Thank you, Ann, and for
Well,
even
Merry
more
Christmas,
simple
happy
and
holidays.
delicious recipes, or if you want to buy a copy of Ann's new cookbook, just log on, annstable42.com, or check them out at the places that you said earlier. Today on the show, candy cane